Hey, I'm Big Lou Barbecue and other things I want to do, and I've got my work hat on, beat up old hat, because I'm going to work. I got one of those fancy smancy digital thermometer things with the wires and everything. I'm kind of scared of probes ever since the aliens abducted me in 1987. Oh, them probes hurt. All right, anyway, that was just a joke, y'all. I got one of those fancy smancy digital things, and you put the thermometers in there, and then you can walk away inside your house and find out, ooh, it's at 230 degrees. Okay, instead of having to walk outside. So I got one of those things, all right? It's by Thermoworks, called Thermoworks Smoke. It's pretty cool. I have a link down below if you want to see it. But it says this.
It says the cables may be closed in an oven door or under a barbecue hood with the precautions below. Okay? When using ovens or smokers, avoid pinching the cable between the hot surfaces such as a cast metal grill, a grill hood without some insulating protection. Use an access hole if available.
All right, so I could run them like over the lid, but I don't think I'm supposed to do that. I think I'm supposed to have a probe port. So they've got these little silicone disc things you can buy, but I'm not sure I really like that idea. And then they've got these metal things you can buy that cost about 20 bucks, and you turn them, you put them in there, and then you can turn it tight around the wires or whatever. But I'm a cheapskate, I really am. So I need to get a probe access port into my drum smoker, and I need to do it with the material. I'm gonna drill a hole, and then I'm gonna have a material that goes in there, into that hole, and the wires can go through, and the material needs to be impermeable, which is a big fancy word for it doesn't let liquids or gases go through it. Smoke is a gas, see? All right. And it needs to be compressible and expandable so that you can compress it into the hole, and then it expands out to make a seal. There's a natural material that does just that. Cork. Let me open this up for you. All right. Been sealing wine bottles for centuries, okay? Now, you could use a wine cork, but the problem with a wine cork is that it's sealing a bottleneck, and so it's not tapered. So, but if you get like a regular bottle stopper cork, we got these at the hardware store, it's like $1.12, so like 56 cents a piece or something, and I got a spare, okay? So I'm gonna drill, and this is the shallow end here is 47/64. 48/64 would be 3/4. So I'm gonna drill a hole that's 3/4, and I'm gonna smooth it out with my Dremel tool so it'll be a little bigger than 3/4, and this will go in there. Now, cork is a natural material. It is impermeable to water and gases, okay? And it's a natural fire retardant.
Okay, so this is my drum smoker. I got all the grates out. Top grate goes on that bolt right there. Grate I normally smoke on goes on this bolt. So I'm gonna put the probe port right here underneath my shelf where the smoke will sit on top. That's the fancy smancy digital thermometer thing.
All right, this bolt here, I hang stuff on it, and that bolt there, I hang stuff on it, and on the inside, this supports my main smoking grate, and this supports my top smoking grate. These are the brackets that support my shelf. So I want the probe port to go about right here. Now, I don't want to put it on the seam. I want it to go about right here. Now this morning, my nail punches, I got about 3 of them. They seem to be hiding from me, so I'm just going to use this nail. And what we're going to do is I'm going to just put it right here, and I'm going to tap a little hole, and this will keep my drill from dancing as I drill the pilot hole. That need to go all the way through, just needs to dent it a little bit. And that should do it right there. All right, time to drill. All right, pilot hole is drilled. All right. 3/4 inches is the 4th step. So when it goes 1, boom, 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 4th step, I've got the 3/4 inch hole. All right, there's the 4th step. That should be a 3/4 inch hole. And that does go in there. Before I push that in there tight, I want to get my Dremel and I want to smooth that out so there's no edges to cut. Old school Dremel tool. You hadn't seen one look like that since Nixon was president. Look at that, y'all. Y'all know I hate living in the 21st century. I really do. All right, I'm gonna have to get this cut out. You see that little piece of metal? I need to make sure there's no burrs or anything that'll tear up my cork. Hey, it's made in America though. All right, that's pretty good. So that'll go in there just like that. My drill just fell into my drum. Can you believe that? Dead nabbit rats. Well, there's the drill down at the bottom of my drum. Glad it was my drill and not my cup of coffee. I'd freak out with my cup of joe. I'd have to make more. And that's what the cork looks like from the inside here, okay? Well, I bet you're wondering, well, how you gonna get the probe wires through there? More importantly that, I bet you're wondering how I got my drill out from the bottom of the drum. Well, I'm 6'3" and I got long arms. That's how that worked. All right, let's do the holes in this cork for probe port. I'm gonna use this one first. I'm gonna let that one be my backup spare for, I don't expect this to last forever, but 56 cents a piece at the local box hardware store. You can probably get it at a mom and pop hardware store for even cheaper, right? And it'll be real easy to replace. The hardest part was drilling a hole in the drum. So we're gonna take the drill. That looks like a little natural hole right there, so I'm just gonna start right there with it. All right. Had some black stuff on the end of my drill tip from the creosote inside my drum smoker. I need to wash it. All right. See, there's a hole on the other side, okay? Boom, boom. All right, I'm gonna drill it one time through, make sure it's real clean. There it is on the other side. Now, this cork dust, that will burn, but a whole piece of cork will not burn. But once you break down the cell walls, cork dust will burn. But a whole piece of cork is not going to burn, so this is going to be just fine. All right, so I'm going to use one of these handy dandy box cutter blades. The reason is, even on like a little small pocket knife like this, the blade on the pocket knife is a good bit thicker than that. An X-Acto knife would probably be a better choice, but my wife would kill me if I used her X-Acto knife. So I need to use this, all right? I need to get my own X-Acto knife. And I'm just gonna go, there's the hole. There's the deal on the back side. You can kind of see through there. You can see light through there, and the hole, the probes will go through that hole, okay? And then as this crimps up through the hole, it will seal up around the probes and should not let too much smoke out. All right, so I'm just gonna go, I need to go from that hole right there, and I'm just gonna just cut with this. Or maybe I need to change the blade. There it goes. Uh-oh.
cracked open right there, but that'll be okay. That'll be okay. So I've got it cut through, as you can see. Need it to be a little bit wider, like that, and like this. Now, let's put the probe wires in there and make sure it fits. If I was cooking, I'd put in one probe, feed the wire as long as I wanted it to, hook it up to the meat, feed the other probe, feed the wire, get in there. Golly. All right, hook it up to the grate. As much wire as I needed, find a point where they're both about meet. Then I'd shove it in, through there like that, through there like that. Shove this cork in right here. That's gonna squeeze together as I push that cork in tight. I don't see any air. That's snug. Should not be leaking too much. And I've got a 56-cent probe port. Bought 2 corks for $1.12. All right, cheap, easy. And I'm gonna cook some ribs today, and I'll show you some footage here at the end of what it looks like while it's cooking. Big Lou barbecue. Just like that. Now, let's come around to the back and we're gonna hook up the my probe port. All right, I showed you early in the video how I plan to do this, but now let's get it done as if we're actually using it. Okay, so I'm just gonna take it like that and leave some slack, you know. Slide the probe wires through there, just like that. Push it in. I don't see any smoke leaking. I don't see any smoke leaking out of it. Any smoke you do see is coming out from the top. Yeah, this is gonna work. I'll check back. All right, we're about 2 hours in. Can't ask for a whole lot better than that. Can't ask for a whole lot better than that. Now let's look at the probe port. I am showing no smoke leak whatsoever. I can touch it. Grab these cords right here. Not hot. Works well. Big Lou barbecue. All right. The probe port looks like that after about 4.5 hours of cook time. After 4.5 hours cook time, looked like it did after 1 hour and 2 hour and everything else. No smoke's leaking. Cool to the touch. All right, I'm just shutting down the smoker, but this is not hot, okay? So we're just gonna pull that one through there. Pull that one through there. All right, well that's what my probe port looks like after a 5-hour cook. Hey, I think it'll last another one. And if it doesn't, I'll just use another one. Probably wipe all that off. Anyway, it works. That's what I'll be using in my drum smoker.
That cork worked very well. No smoke leaked out, and no heat escaped, you know, because it's very heat resistant too. But it's not that durable of a material, so I don't expect it to last forever. But I know I'm going to get at least another cook out of it because it's working just fine now. And I should get a handful of cooks out of it, and then I'll just make another one. They're not that expensive. It was $1.12 for the 2-pack, so I got one spare ready to go. You know, that's what, 56 cents a piece? You get 5 cooks, just what, 11 cents? You know, hey, not bad. Even if it may go longer than that. I don't know how long it'll last. Anyway, I was looking for an inexpensive way to come up with a probe port, and that's working. So there you go. And on my drum smoker, there's no warranty to void because I'm it. Big Lou barbecue. Columbo says, just one more thing. Here's a mod I did quite a while back to my Weber kettle. I don't know if I did a video on it or not, but it's just a cork. You could use a wine cork for this. There's no reason for this cork to be tapered like it is for the probe port. But since cork doesn't absorb heat and it's fire retardant, it works as a handle so I can move that without burning my fingers. I've just put a screw through there and a nut, and works real well. So if you got a Weber grill, you're not worried about the warranty,
Think about that if you want to. Just a little extra lagniappe. Like I always say in Spanish, thanks for watching. Gracias por mirar.